if the schools don't take responsibility, as we say, or the college doesn't take responsibility, they don't know what their campus students are capable of. See, health is a very important part, as well as what the other things the schools and colleges train them for. That the school won't have any problem setting up if we give them a standard,
Right.
that all students require this amount of proportion of meals and this amount of nutrition. But I think the main problems would be changing the mindset of parents. If they would believe in such systems, if they're ready to cope up. If I can properly identify the diet of the children who are performing well, the diet, the routine, as well as the physicals of a high performing student, let's say, that generally doesn't start from class 3. Let's take class 9. क्योंकि शॉर्ट टर्म स्ट्रेस में एड्रेनल निकलता है, वो फ्लाइट और फ्राइट रिएक्शन देता है, या फिर करेंगे या फिर मरेंगे.
Welcome to another brand new episode of Student Voice Matters. This is your host, Sonalika Goswami. Today's episode is for all those children and parents who are watching this and think that physical complications are very common in today's date. There are so many times that we hear that children in today's world with high pollution, with different food, food affecting our bodies, we often think, why are the children suffering so much? Well, I think where the parents miss out on a lot is they think that health checkup is necessary, or they go to regular health checkups only after a certain age. But what they miss out is that every person, every child also needs a regular physical checkup in order to stay fit, in order to stay healthy, especially in today's date. Today we have with us the owner of Sura Foundation, Shreyan Roy, who is into this industry, who has been dealing with children and their physical checkups for quite some time now. And we will directly hear from him the importance of it and in what way is early prevention better, right?
Yeah.
So, Shreyan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
today.
much for having me. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So, we want to know first, you are talking about the importance of physical checkup, the importance of having a physically fit health.
Yeah.
So, when you say that, what stage do you think one should begin, doing regular checkups? Though I agree that, every child, every parent, when a child is born, what they do is they do all the necessary checkups and, they do give doctor visits and everything. But what are the checkups that you think are most important for every child or every student to go through from time to time?
Well, as you know, in today's world, most parents send their kids to school and have a sense of relief. They think their jobs are same as the student. The student will go to the school, do their own work, do their own education, and they will be busy with their own work. But what we need to do about their health is it's not just from the first half of their lives. It's a total journey. From when they're independent, maybe they're 18 years old, or before that when they're 8 years old. We need to start as early as possible to help them get a visualization of their overall health, whatever they are going to have in the future. So therefore what is necessary is it is very important to start the health prevention checkups as early as possible during their entire school time, or let's say in the college as well. Sometimes the parents think that once the child is in school or once the child is in college, we don't need to take about their health, they'll do it their own, we can see the symptoms. But it's not always like that. As soon
do
as
you think that some symptoms are always visible? No, right?
No, definitely not. It's most of the time, most problems which are arising are now non-communicable and asymptomatic. We can't really see that what the child is suffering from, and that includes mental health as well. Well, mental health is a very different segment of what we take participating.
We are talking more about physical health.
We are talking more about the physical health, which is also very necessary, because if the schools don't take responsibility, as we say, or the college doesn't take responsibility, they don't know what their campus students are capable of. See, health is a very important part, as well as what the other things the schools and colleges train them for. Mostly it's not about getting a good education, and of course it is. I mean, colleges and schools,
but I also think that being physically fit is a big blessing in order to move forward well with your academics. Because if you are physically unfit, if you're not able to go and attend school daily, if you are sick and if you have to deal with your treatments, that does affect your education as well.
Exactly my point. A healthier student is a better performing student. That's the main goal of our organization, or what we are planning to do in the future, is that just getting a education or studying books or participating in competitive exams is not very real in this world. It's part of the whole journey, but it also includes the entire health care of the student and the entire health well-being of the student. That's what my journey is, and
Now,
I would like to lead it. Yeah.
I know that schools approach Sura Foundation for their, for making their students go through various physical checkups.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So that is a big responsible part that is being done on the school's end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they approach you, what are the kind of physical checkups that you keep as a priority for each student, and what class do you begin these checkups from?
See, mostly it depends on what the school allows us from. Sometimes they let us start from class 3, sometimes they let us start from class 6 and upwards,
So
obviously. Yeah.
you think it's as important to start a regular yearly annual checkup from class 3 itself?
Most definitely. Then we can get a picture of the campus, overall campus health, which I think in the future would also lead to the various differences in admission, because a more healthier campus is a more knowledgeable and aware campus.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
inside school campus, I think students spend the most of the day.
Actually, 25% of our entire lives go to schools and colleges.
Right.
Mostly. And it could be more for other people as
Right,
well.
right.
Yeah.
So, what are the physical checkups that you keep as a priority when you get to the students?
See, there are many parts of physical checkups. Mainly, we start with the BMI. The BMI is the most important. The height to weight ratio, which is also known as the BMI. Sometimes there are people who will say that no, the children don't need to have a proper BMI. They get, as they get older, they fit into the BMI. But that's not true. A BMI ratio can be fixed for various age groups, and we know if the child is healthy or like healthier or more fat than the other students compared to their campus, and therefore we can work more, we can diagnose them better and help understand whether they have some pre-genetical condition or congenital condition which is differentiating them, like making them into a more negative side of the health, as we say. I'm not saying that fat people are always in
No,
a
definitely.
unhealthy way, but I'm saying that sometimes compared to other students, if they are
Physically
weaker, then we can get much more a better picture and help them better to
Right.
help them
To
score
cope-
better, yeah, to cope
yeah.
better with the entire curriculum with them. And I definitely feel that healthcare, and obviously our government is also helping us a lot, then it's including healthcare in our curriculum, and it's helping, like making we people who work towards healthcare feel very happy or let's say fulfilled. Hopeful, definitely hopeful
Yeah.
is the word. Thank you so much. Yeah, so that's what our main goal is to differentiate between all the students and get to know like what kind of student is in what kind of health journey they are. We know what kind of education journey they are. They're in class
Right.
6, class 7, class 8, class 9, class 10. But what kind of health journey are they going towards? Are they going towards a bad health segment, or are they going towards a good, healthy
How do
segment?
how do you identify a bad health segment and
Yeah.
a good health segment?
Oh, so yeah, as I was saying, we the first and very important thing is the BMI. That is the height to weight ratio. Then we do the dental checkups. Then we do the mental health checkups, which is included in all this. Then we do a physical checkup, like if they're getting any kind of fits or getting kind of breathless while performing certain exercises and everything. Then we also integrate this entire scoring into a scoring format. We integrate all these datas into a scoring format, and the less the person scores, the more unhealthy the child is. The more the score they get, the more healthier the person is. Now we do this
What
based
is
on
the-
some
What is the parameter for healthy? Like how do you identify as someone as healthy?
we there are certain set standards for the calculators which we use. There are certain standards which are set that if the person is devoid of these standards, then they might be unhealthy. If the person is above these standards, they are healthy people. So a basic, just like we know there is an ideal weight for every person, we know that there is an ideal height of the person. Therefore we have an ideal BMI. It can be performed for any student, and of course there is the dental checkup, there is the other things which I have said, and we calculate this and we set specific parameters for every class, for every age. Class over here gets differentiated into ages. Of course, there is a range. Sometimes there is a I mean, 6, 7 year, 8 year old studying in a class 3 or class 2, and therefore we take the age into account. Sometimes it doesn't mean that every class 3 person has an ideal weight of, let's say, 50 kgs, or not 50 kgs, like 40 kgs, 30 kgs to 40 kgs. And if a person is above that, we need to check the age for that person. Doesn't
Right.
mean that the class has something like
Right.
that
It
to
can
do.
be
Yeah.
a general age variation.
Yeah, exactly. But mostly these days, the classes have certain set ages. Like, you won't find it's going beyond a certain range of age. Yeah.
My question to you is, a while back you mentioned health campus.
Yeah.
The campus health.
Healthy campus.
Healthy campus.
Yeah.
So when you say that, what factors do you think come into consideration when we are thinking of campus health or healthy campus in general? Like, how do you determine that a campus is healthy? Because in India till date,
Yeah.
like in the Western countries, a lot of these schools provide meals and lunches.
Yeah.
But in India, still a lot of these students bring their tiffin from their houses.
Definitely.
Right. So in that case, food is and I mentioned tiffin is because food is a very essential part of your health.
Definitely.
So when you talk about campus health or healthy campus,
Mhm.
what are the standards or marks do you have that will help you determine, that these are the factors we are taking into consideration when we are seeking for a healthy campus?
Yeah. See, the entire student population then gets divided into two categories. Parents who believe in the midday meal, the things which we have, the midday meal system or the meal system of a school, and then we have the parents who don't believe in this system. They don't think that the school will be competent, or the school also doesn't have enough time to prepare such meals for the students.
Does not have enough resources.
Does not have enough resources or time, and because of the standards we have set, because parents mostly all working and non-working parents send some kind of food or tiffin money, as we say, canteen money, to the student, and they have their own specific taste of what kind of food they should have. But in what we do, along with our scoring, we also do a specific diet chart the person is. We have our own dietitians, we have our own nutritionists, we have our own pediatricians who know what's going on with that child, and therefore we lead on to it and give them a specific nutricized meal for that child, so that
So you mean that I have seen a lot of schools set a category of food, that if you want to bring food from home, this is a certain category that you have to follow. Like on Mondays you have to bring these kind of meals. On Tuesday you bring something that is white.
Yeah.
So you think this is how you can maybe set standards with your dietitians, or like I'm talking about in general, can we have a measure of food so that even before identifying a problem we can set a prevention that way?
I think the school won't have any kind of problem setting up such things. Personally, I feel that the school won't have any problem setting up if we give them a standard,
Right.
that all students require this amount of proportion of meals and this amount of nutrition. But I think the main problems would be changing the mindset of parents. If they would believe in such systems, if they're ready to cope up with such systems.
I think you have to first address them, which is why I think this podcast is very important, because
Yeah.
a lot of parents are watching us, and they need to first understand the reason why the schools would love to do it, or why you, as a person who has been dealing with this world of medicine or this world of physical fitness,
Yeah.
recommend this sort of solution, the importance of it, and what and what kind of hazards can being callous about it cause. So where do you think the importance of having good and nutritious food stand today? Like children having important right amount of protein, right amount of carbs, how important do you think is it a factor for health?
I think with today's rising obesity standards and rising obesity rates, the parents are extremely involved in their children's diet. Like they either directly or indirectly, the more healthier students you will see have health conscious parents, or parents who take care about the children's meal. Now, I'm not calling other parents callous or uninvolved in their children's affairs, but I'm saying a healthy meal from school life can change the entire health journey of that person, can make them 10 times better in performance of every aspect of their lives. So that is where the question is. I mean, if we think of a parent network, if I can properly identify the diet of the children who are performing well, the diet, the routine, as well as the physicals of a high performing student, let's say, that generally doesn't start from class 3. Let's take class 9 as an example, from classes, the high school, which we say from classes 9 to classes 12. Let's say we set that standard, and we get to know the highest performers of those classes, and what exactly is their diet chart, is their sleep schedule. So other parents can actually get a standard, can actually get a reference of if they want their child to go in that path or not. Then we also can get a certain set of standards and certain references, as we say, that other parents can follow, which they might not be able to follow or do them themselves. They'll get the knowledge, because knowledge makes us more aware.
Correct.
And being aware makes us more healthier, I guess.
You have been a med student
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah, yeah.
And you are also into this health sector,
Yeah.
professionally.
Yeah.
But you are not practicing as a doctor. You're
No,
practicing
no,
as a
no.
health professional.
As a health professional, yeah, definitely.
So what I would like to ask you is that even from a doctor's point of view,
yeah.
or from a health professional's
Yeah.
point of view, what is the most common health problem you see among students or children in general? What do you think is the most common complication that a child is facing with their health in today's time?
If I talk about the physical health, it's definitely obesity. But if I talk about a even bigger prevailing issue, it's probably mental stress. Mental stress is most.
I'm so sorry to
it's
interrupt you.
fine. Yeah.
Do you think mental health can somewhere contribute to physical health?
Definitely, most definitely. Our changes in our mind cause extreme biochemical changes in our body, and that is proven by numerous articles. And it's a household fact. Even our moms and dads say that don't take too much stress. It will make you go berserk, or it will destroy your performance. Mostly because it affects our entire health, not just. And I have known some people, due to excessive stress, they have GI issues. The recent investigations which we are doing in the field of healthcare.
What is a GI issue?
A GI issue is any gastrointestinal issue, something which affects our gut. And it is extremely linked towards with the brain. Any child suffering from extreme stress has to, according to my experience, according to other people's experiences, has to suffer from some kind of gut issues or GI issues. It may be inconsistence, or it may be some kind of constipation, some kind of diarrhea, some kind of other deadly GI disease. And I would like to say in our conversations that GI issues are one of the most deadly issues. I would treat it just next to cancer.
Okay.
Yeah. Because most of the GI issues, most people don't think what they put into their gullets. Most people don't think that. They go it for the dopamine. They do it for the, let's say, serotonin, the dopamine, the neurochemical factors which are behind it, and enjoying the food. Most people are enjoying so much, they don't know what they're putting inside their mouths, inside their guts. So that's why it's more important that this diet thing is interlinked with the stress.
And I think it's indirectly
Yeah.
causing, because if I have seen a lot of what you say is eating disorder is also a very serious disorder.
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of the eating disorder is a cause of extreme stress.
Binge eating.
Binge eating,
Yeah.
right? Not just binge eating. I think if some people just stop eating altogether as well.
Oh yeah, that is
Right?
another form
so
of
that is
stress.
another
Yeah.
form of eating disorder as
Yeah,
well, which
definitely,
can also
definitely.
be caused due to stress. I think
Yes,
a lot of
yes,
people,
yes.
they just say,
I think it's people who stop eating during extreme levels of stress. They're very self-conscious people, I personally
Okay,
believe.
okay.
They are people who don't really care about what they think of themselves, but what others think of themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how stress basically works out. If someone stops eating,
if you have
yeah.
a very, like, in general, this is not even about a disorder, but if you'll see if somebody is going through a lot of stress, right, or a lot of tension in the moment, and you give them something to eat, they'll be like, no, I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat.
Yeah.
So they skip the meal.
Yeah.
So this is something also not as a disorder, but people do commonly.
Yeah.
Commonly, and that does lead to various different gut issues.
See, the thing you're talking about, I think we can differentiate stress into two terms, which is actually it has been made very famous for in Kota Factory.
Yeah.
Kota Factory, there's a very good Netflix series, Kota Factory. I think every student in India has seen it, almost every student. And over there it was Jeetu Bhaiya. Jeetu Bhaiya said that there are two kinds of stress. Short term stress होता है, एक long term stress होता है. Short term stress आपके सेहत के लिए अच्छा है, क्योंकि शॉर्ट टर्म स्ट्रेस में एड्रेनल निकलता है, वो फ्लाइट और फ्राइट रिएक्शन देता है, या फिर करेंगे या फिर मरेंगे. तो ये जो होता है, दिस फ्लाइट एंड फाइट रिएक्शन कम्स ड्यूरिंग द शॉर्ट टर्म anxiety or short term stress, as we say. Sometimes it's good for health. Sometimes when you're not eating during stress, you're reducing your weight. If the child is obese, let's say, or overweight, it's good for them if they're having some short term. But long term stress, people who have been stressed out since a very long term, they are the ones who tend to binge eat. Sometimes you'll see the stress is going on for more than 1 year.
Sometimes I think parents overwhelm their child with academic pressure. They're like, oh, there's an exam coming up. Oh, wait, there's an... So by the time they're done with the midterm, they have to worry about the final. And I think that's how they're prepared. Like, oh, today you have to attend 2 tuitions and there are exams in the tuitions.
Exactly.
If you don't perform well, your teachers are going to bully you, your peers are going to mock at you, and there's this constant parental comparison that comes across it. Oh,
definitely.
Her child is doing well. And how will it look? How will the other children's parents view you, right?
Yeah.
So this, unconsciously or unintentionally, they sometimes arise a long-term pressure in the child. So even if the child is in 3rd grade, 4th grade, there is a constant thought in their mind that, oh, I have to keep performing well.
That's where the competition is starting in India. It starts from a very early age.
And I think it does contribute to a long-term stress.
Most definitely. Especially the mental health and the physical health.
Right.
Yeah. You'll see that how many actors or how many good-looking models do we had from the IITs? Most of them suffer for some kind of... If you look at the top institutions of India and top schools of our country...
But we have had several models or, actors who have...
They later changed it. They never... During their extreme stress, no one is health conscious about that. They later changed their careers and became models. Right. That's different. Someone is going the modeling path. But right now, if you go to a certain institute... If you go to a certain top doing institute right now, I'm not taking any names. If you go to a top doing institute right now, to a well deemed institute, how many people do you think will turn out to be healthy? How many people do you think has an athletic body? Of course, the concept of gyms are going stronger. It's growing a lot stronger, and they're contributing to some good bodybuilding factors, as we say. But it's not the let's say the only factor when it comes to health.
But recently we have seen some very famous people very health conscious, like they were into the glamour world as well. But they've had heart attacks, which is like they were very young, they were in the 40s or in the 30s, and
most definitely
they were very health conscious. We have seen them go to gym, but they still had strokes and heart attacks. And some people have lost their lives because of it. So I guess going to the gym is not the only factor that contributes to a good health.
Never. That's only one part of it.
And do you think that being health aware since your school life, contributes much bigger to you staying fit in a longer term in life?
Most definitely. If you follow a certain, let's say you start at college level and you start at class 3. Let's say you're planning your diet since class 3, you're diet conscious. During our times also, but let's say even 5 years back, no one was diet conscious since class 3. But that's what we are trying to change. If we can prevent it from an early stage, then we don't even have the problems anymore. We won't require gyms anymore if obesity is not a problem. Most people who go to the gyms...
I think gym is important because it helps you stay fit, it helps you stay healthy.
Definitely. That's a different segment of people. That's people who are already health conscious.
Correct.
But there is other segment of people who go to the gyms to lose weight.
Right.
Who go to the gyms to become someone. Become something different than what they are. I'm not judging anybody right now here, but they can have other let's say other ways.
What you're saying is they can be health conscious from a very early age. So mentality shouldn't be losing weight or looking a certain way. It should be about staying fit.
It's about staying fit. Right. It's about staying mentally fit. It's about staying physically fit.
Right. And when you started this thing, how did you come about it? When you started with your health scoring,
you
were talking about it some time back. So this idea of having health scores for students right from class 3, which is, I think,
Yeah.
it can bring about evolution. It is something, such an important factor, and I'm so glad that the schools are very open about it. The schools are
Definitely,
welcoming
yeah,
your
yeah,
idea. So how did you come about with this idea?
The thing, it started when I was looking at the results of certain competitive exams, and then I started looking into their healthcare. Like, I started looking how healthy is this
Right.
child.
What helped you
Yeah.
is, I think you have your father has a diagnostic center.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely
My family has been in healthcare for the last 30 years.
right. So I think
Yeah.
that definitely contributed to your
Definitely,
research
definitely.
and
The
survey.
the foundation of my journey towards healthcare, no matter how hard it has been, or how different it has been, the foundation was always built by my parents.
Right, and
Yes.
I think that is where the authentic survey came to you.
Yeah, I actually have if I start going to the data fields and data, I can get you like vast amount of let's say usable knowledge from that. When we check the biochemical data of different labs, we can have huge amounts of let's say epidemiological data based on the local people, based on the real people, and it's real live data.
And
You
you've
can
seen
get that. Yeah.
obesity being the
I have seen
biggest
cardiovascular diseases among adults. I have seen cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease, it's no news among healthcare workers.
among
Yeah.
students, what was
Among students, highest, as I said, it was stress, obesity, and which will lead to most definitely heart issues. Yeah. Actually, you will see most people who are working in corporates now, they are facing such work pressures. Just ever since the leaving college, let's say at 24, 25 or 23, 22, and they're joining huge corporates, MNCs as they say. Most of them are dying by heart attacks. I personally know 5 people who have just dropped dead in the middle of a conversation, in the middle of a presentation, and they have suffered heart attacks.
which means that they did have complications in their body, and
They did have complications in their
They
body
did not
and
go
they
for a
did not
checkup.
know about it. Or maybe
which
they
is why I think
yeah,
time to time checkup is important for everyone.
very important. I think getting yourselves checked every 6 months, both physically, mentally, biochemically, is very important.
Right.
Very important.
And
yeah.
now that the schools are doing it, what do you think is going to be the outcome? Like, why should the students take this, and how is it beneficial? And how are you planning to, like, what is the message that you want to give the students about this health score?
I will like to give a message to the parents, the families, the students, as well as the schools. While you're focusing on the education and the competitive background of a child, let us take care of the health. That's my motto, and that's my goal.
And when you say that let us take care of the health,
Yeah.
what benefits of the health are you providing? I know you have spoken
Yeah.
about providing them with a diet chart and
Yeah.
giving them health scores and
Yeah,
everything.
we're doing other checkups as well.
Right.
We're doing audiometry, like the ear checkups, the eye checkups. Most
Right.
people who have had eye checkups in class 3, a lot of students come out that they need specs.
And is it
yeah.
going to be annual? Are you going to do it every year? Are you going to maintain a file?
Yes, I'm gonna maintain a file. I'm gonna maintain a trend. Definitely, I'm gonna maintain the trends. It's all depends on the amount of schools we are getting, the amount of data we are procuring, and therefore we would like to do a huge analysis based
Right.
on that. Yeah.
And sometimes it's not important that like sometimes it's because there are so many students at the same time in the
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
It might not be possible to listen to their personal problems one on one.
Yeah.
Can people approach you differently, and can people explore more about the healthcare with you outside of school as well?
Most definitely,
Right,
we are
if-
always available. Yeah.
Like, do you think that the schools can help you do that? Like, are the schools allowing you to carry forward with the child after school if the child wants to take a special
if
Medicare
the
help?
family wants this, if the parents wants it, if the child wants this, there is no barrier.
Okay.
Yeah, the school, I personally don't think the school will have any kind of problem with that. They haven't had any problems with it. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much, Shreyan. This
Yeah,
was a
thank
very,
you,
very
yeah.
important podcast, and I'm
Yeah.
sure it will be very helpful to the students, to the parents, and I'm so glad that the schools are supporting you in this as they should. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much to you. Thank you. Yeah.